Check, check, mic check. Hey there, guys. Hey, DC. Congrats. How are you doing, DC? Hey there, Happy. He's just messing with me. He's just messing with us, DC. He does here. Seven stream streak. Almost like 7,000, but yeah, you have a little more to go. How are you doing, Happy? See, I knew it. Beauty nap is working the wrong way. What the heck? I do know cream, by the way, DC. But protect your neck. It does sound familiar, but I doubt I know it. And I guess that's... I'm pretty sure that that's what do you call it? Whatever for break your neck from Busta Rhymes. Yeah, but like it's a response for break your neck. Protect your neck. Or don't tell me you don't know break your neck. More badges. Welcome in Shadow. Hi. How are you doing, Shadow? Just trying to finish something here. But I'm here, guys. I'm here. Chilling, enjoying a chill night. Nice. That's good. Personally, I'm doing alright. I started playing Stalker 2 again. You guys probably saw it. Now, I wish I could properly stream that. But even without streaming, it's... I don't know what the fuck is happening with it. Every now and then I just get some lag. Like, it's crazy, you can't play it. Then. Remember being warm again? Well, it's here and it's more hot at night time. Yeah. Don't have to tell me. Oh shit, I forgot to grab something to drink. Let me and fuck sleep longer. Right. It sucks, but oh well. We're gonna survive. We have to, right? Right. It's okay, I do. Alright, let me go grab something to drink because I'm out of drink. BRB real quick. Back. With some cold tea. Pepsi Swift, not Swift, Twist. I don't even remember what was the... What were the commands? Or what do we have? Let me check. Because from what I remember, there is one that shows everything. All the foods and whatchamacallit, drinks. Yeah, it's Pepsi Twist. Where the heck is the list though? I don't find the list. At this point, I'm just going through all of snacks. There we go. Yeesh. Yeah, that one. All right. We got those. Okay. There. Yeah, DCL good with all the bots. All right. Let's see, what do we have? Well, stationary kill 3 undead snipers from 100 meters or further. I'm gonna go to MOB Condor this time. This one? Yeah, that's a good one.
Better not roll this thing.
If you're talking about the one that's currently playing. Yep. That's the one. Okay. Why are you pushing me out of the car? Why are you pushing me out of everything, Shadow? What the heck? Are you doing the same thing with all the drivers in the cars that you're in? Omi from GDRP. You mean from that time that you killed us? Trying to do stunts?
Sniper, top of the tower.
Is that what you mean?
Spotting another tango.
You do all the time. I did not do such things. Pepsi Twist, there we go. Coffee. I do DC, are you okay? That's a lot of caffeine. Pepsi Twist and coffee.
Sniper up in the tower. Tango number 3.
Okay, let's attempt this. That is a 1.
Eyes on a Jenny. Want to shut off their lights?
That is a 2. He was just about to move. Oh, there he is.
Sniper,
And
top
it's
of the tower.
over 100. Cool. We're done then. You remember? Guess what? I don't care about AI viewers. Fuck you. These bots.
Sniper
It
up
was
in
a
the
bot.
tower.
That's okay. You guys didn't see it. Or at least should have not. Right, yeah, every game we played. Right. Wait,
Got another
what do you mean?
tango.
You trying to
Baby
kill me
makes
in every
3.
game that we playing? I know.
Sniper, top of the tower.
Shit. Let me open up that thing on my phone. I'm fucking dumb. I'm so fucking dumb. I try to kill you. I don't try to kill you. You're innocent. Sure. Sure you are. And another life, maybe. Work. Next one. Extreme difficulty. And without dying. Deploy to Montauk Alpha, then complete mission Operation Oracle. Okay. Always were and always have been. Will be. Sure. Okay, there we go. So, Montauk Alpha Operation Oracle. Operation Oracle, I can see that there. I'm dumb. There we go. Operation Oracle.
Nomad, I have something for you. I sent a
I
package.
know you do.
I'm patching
I
you
know you
coordinates
do.
now. When you get there, call me.
Blah, 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 woof, woof. Okay, let's hydrate. Let's hydrate. You hydrate, guys, as well. I did hydrate. I know what you're talking about. Alright, now teleport there. It's just without dying, right? And of course, extreme, but that's forever. Have you been playing anything, Shadow? Also, DC, are you still here?
Bowman, we found your package. I have the access card.
Unidad has custody of a high-level Skeltech engineer. As you can imagine, he knows some sensitive U.S. industrial secrets that we'd like to state.
I saw
Unidad currently is
yesterday, I
holding
think
him
it
at
was,
an underground research facility,
that you
and
streamed.
that card should open the security
You say
door.
you don't know
Check
what
your
you're
map
doing.
for
What
the
do you mean you
facility's
don't know what
location.
you're doing? You're
I need
streaming.
you and your team to find him and extract him. Think you can handle that?
Simple extract. Consider it done.
Don't be so sure this one's gonna be simple. Call me when you have the engineer. Bowman out.
You saw me there.
Looks like a Skeltech engineer.
You
wandered
one
a
of
little
those
too far from home,
stalkers,
and now Unidad has him.
like I used to
We're gonna
be,
get him before he's
to
spilled
check
any
who's
high-tech
watching them.
secrets.
Skeltech? As in the tech company started by Jay Skell?
Who's that?
Only one of the smartest and richest people on the planet.
Skeltech probably designed half the gadgets we use.
Well, if he's
And
so
the user,
smart
like,
and
yeah,
rich,
yeah, yeah,
why does he
right
need
there.
us to clean up his mess?
Shit, just be glad he hasn't replaced us with robots yet.
More RP than I used to. Finishing the DLC in House Flipper 2. Decorating and finishing from Japan. The DLC is in Japan.
This must be the way in.
What the hell is this shit? It's massive.
You see any guards?
No. And that worries me. Keep your head on a swivel. Demo's primed and in place.
I haven't played this since last week. So I played Stalker 2 only. So it's gonna be interesting.
There might be civilians
House is
inside, so
like
watch your
an
fire.
awesome, beautiful Japanese style. Okay, okay.
Yo, placing a mine over here.
One of the best DLCs they made.
Someone's already hit this place. Keep your
I
head
mean,
on a
I
swivel.
would think so. Houses in Japan are
Looks like we caught a break.
pretty unique.
The scientists are still alive. They've just been knocked out. Only the Unidad soldiers have been killed.
So our guy should still be alive. Jeez. How are we supposed to find him in all this mess?
Actually,
Search,
let's go up here.
dumbass.
I might have
Wait, let me
placed
place
that
a mine.
one on the stairs too close to the corner.
I'm placing a mine for our Sicario
Maybe
friends.
it'll with Stalker 2. Guys, I was saying I was playing Stalker 2 the entire week.
Look at this shit. High caliber rounds. Yeah, these guys want to hurt
About
somebody's
Japan and
feelings.
their culture. I know, right?
Wait, let me place a mine.
It's a bit too
I got the C4 primed.
that way. Oh, whatever. Alright. We already can call in
Sounds like company.
any help.
quiet.
So, wait, before that, let's switch to the explosive drone. There we go. Like Will Smith's music, but I can't respect it anymore. Oh, what the heck?
Fuck. Walker? The hell are you doing here? Bowman didn't say to expect you.
So, when my chill music plays, I'm listening
Tough
to
little
his
handler
Japanese
of
chill
ours got
music.
no idea I'm here.
Well, you
So chilled with
sightsee?
the kind of
Hunting
music.
What's the
Nice.
game?
High level, skilled tech engineer. Daniel Rodriguez Ariano. See, Danny here, he's got access to company technology that the government does not want shared. But he's been spending a lot of time in Bolivia.
Probably not out here soaking up the culture, huh?
He's been selling secrets to Unidad. So he and we're about to have a little chat.
Our mission from Bowman
I did play a little bit of
was to rescue him from Unidad.
Breakpoint as well. I finished all the side missions that I had
Blow
left.
sunshine up your ass all day,
It was
but I'll
like,
spare you.
I don't know,
Bowman,
3, 5,
she's
something
my
like
real
that.
target. They know exactly what he's been doing, but she's been protecting the little shit.
What's he do for them?
Informant inside Unidad.
These must be some pretty
A
serious
special
secrets for you to go off
place
script.
in your heart.
Must be.
Fuck, they're here.
Get him up.
Okay. Kayate, you want to live?
No, no,
through
you
this?
said it correctly the first
Follow
time,
me,
Shadow.
do as I say.
Japan
two
has a
done making
special
out?
place in your heart. How so? Why?
Looks like Walker left some fun for us.
Try
Time
to
to
get
earn our
to.
pay.
Puta madre!
Okay.
Who are these guys?
If you want to live long enough to find out, keep your head down.
Fuerzas enemigas detectadas. A todas las unidades. Disparen a voluntad.
The movie, yeah.
Fire.
Roger. Got him.
Ready? Open fire.
I copy. I'm opening fire.
There's another one. I did hear somebody on my left coming up. So
Ready? Fire, fire, fire.
Roger that.
A todas las unidades. Comiencen el ataque. Ready? Open fire.
Tango is fucking dead.
Copy that.
go.
No hostiles
The
evident.
movie. Marine the VHS tape my sister had because
Clear
I
over
watched so
here.
many times. I don't even remember it. I know that I watched it, but I don't remember which one that is. Out of the two is what I mean.
Yo, we got hostiles.
Oops.
Looks like
Ah,
the
shit.
Froggy.
The drone is up.
It was a long time ago when I watched it. What the fuck? I did not. The actual fuck, I was pushing W for forward and it went all the way around. The actual fuck. It's a classic movie. I get that. Now, I'm sure that I saw both of them. Gotcha. And I do remember what it is. I just don't remember which one of the two, or which one is which.
No hay actividad
From one
enemiga en
and
la
two.
última posición conocida. Intentando retomar contacto.
¿En qué dirección se fueron?
Oh, he's not coming down. Too bad.
Jesus fucking
Open
Christ.
fire!
A todas las unidades. Comiencen el ataque.
Oh, wonderful. Drone is not working. Awesome. Oh, somebody already blew up. Guys, what the fuck are you doing back there?
Rally on me.
Roger that.
Heck. Where's the last guy? So you're still hunted. There he is. There we go. That's more like it.
That's it, we're clear.
When I visit Mr. Miyagi's dad in Japan. When I was in Thailand, I even got the drum thing. They all played at the end of the fight scene. Nice.
Hold up, we got hostile activity.
Still not working? Still not working. Awesome. Shh, you stay.
Okay, we're still alright.
You fellas do good work,
We should get together like this more often.
right?
No, we should not.
Next time I'll bring a high caliber rifle.
And I'll bring more grenades.
I think they heard my shots.
Estamos siendo atacados por fuerzas rebeldes. Cantidad de atacantes desconocida. A todas las unidades, vuelvan a atacar.
Dude, move away from here. This is my spot.
Ready? Fire, fire, fire.
Roger
Comienza en el ataque.
This one, I used to... I know this one
Firing!
from NBA 2000. When I used to play.
Tango down.
So when I got the drum, it was all I wanted, so I
Man
could
down
do way
over
too
here.
much when I bought it. Nephew, you okay? What the heck?
Fire.
He's dead.
But he's still alive. Don't stop shooting.
Thanks.
No targets present.
Okay, that was the last one. Hey, I shot somebody as well.
Clear on my side. Enemy activity nearby.
Oops. This is what I meant to
Drag
do.
out.
They're gonna see you. Hold up.
We got
Unidad and
tangos!
rebels throwing lead. What do you want to do?
Man down!
Son of a bitch wouldn't want to die. Fucking hell. 30-year-old wish. Yeah, happy I finally got that drum. I believe you. I believe you.
Engaging tangos.
Fucking hell, now we can go back to Alpha. Whenever we
How you
get
guys
out.
holding up?
Because this fucker wouldn't die. So you have it back home then? The drum.
Yo, we got hostiles. Somebody heard that one.
Somebody definitely heard that one. Are they not dying? Are they supposed to? The fuck? Dude, you're taking cover on the wrong side.
A todas las unidades, comiencen el ataque.
They don't have the fucking... And these
Rally up,
fuckers
people.
are still down there.
Move it.
They still don't have the fucking drone.
Hey! Get that soldier some help!
I'm calm.
God damn, that was close.
The fuck away from in front of me.
Ready? Open fire.
Fucking go out there and fire.
Copy that.
Ah, shit. Ow.
Hey, a Unidad soldier.
Fucking Daniel
got
is
him?
down there. What the fuck, Daniel?
Tango's fucking down. We're in a target poor environment.
Shit, they've got us blocked off.
Take that engineer, get him out of here. Just
I am breathing, I am breathing.
be careful who you trust.
Where are you going?
Hold him off. Consider it what you owe me.
You sure? There's more than a few of them, and I don't like being in debt.
We're clear over here.
There it is. I was wondering where the hell the helo was. Come on, Daniel, move
Hang
your
on, I'll
fucking
drive.
ass.
All right, I'm in.
I got it. I'll fly.
I'm good to go.
This dude. Daniel.
Bowman, we've got the package. Where would you like it delivered?
Good work. I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
Wait,
It was.
Bowman? Karen Bowman?
It always is.
Just get him to the safe house. I'll patch the coordinates through to you.
We will get him to the safe house that you marked once we get to our safe house. Wait, this is the second one. Yeah. I don't know what the last one is. And then check it out. The last challenge that is. The last solo. And then the task force. We're just gonna I'm sorry, Shadow. I cannot help with that. Yeah, DC. DC, almost as soon as he came in,
We're good.
he got it. There you go. Alright, I have to give it manually because I couldn't set it up to. There you go. I love that one. They're good. You're welcome. to plan some more fun stuff for you guys. I know, that's right, it doesn't show stream elements anymore. Forgot about that. But I mean, that's true too. I was here earlier than you, DC. This is actually the first time somebody uses it. So GG's, DC.
There might be some intel around here.
DC's just banning himself.
This is where it ends, amigo. Take care and stay out of trouble.
Thank you for the lurk. Because
Bowman,
there's
this is
gonna be
Nomad.
an unlurk
Package has
in a
been
few
delivered.
seconds.
Excellent. Leave him at the safe house. I'll take care of it from here.
Shall we return to our regularly scheduled program of liberating the people of Bolivia from the tyranny of the Santa Blanca cartel?
I'm ready to sling some more lead.
Not yet. I got a funny feeling about Bowman and his engineer. Let's get moving.
Oh my goodness, my drone is not working. Are you serious? And I can't do this without the drone. Fucking hell, Ubisoft. Sheesh.
Fuck, he heard the
Come on,
shot.
fail it. There we go.
Shall we return to our regularly scheduled program of liberating the people of Bolivia from the tyranny of the Santa Blanca cartel?
I'm ready to sling some more lead.
Not yet. I got a funny feeling about Bowman and this engineer. Let's get moving.
Just remember, those feature how you can tell the difference on which device you're watching the stream from. Sounds like being stuck in me ever since. Wait, what? You can tell the difference on which device. On which device others are watching my stream is what you mean? Ah.
Deploying drone.
Oh, good, no worries.
Got another tango. I got a third target.
And do you
I got another one.
remember
That's 5. Marking a hostile. He's close to some
how it
locals.
was?
I asked the rebels to
How
recon
I
the
could
area
tell?
for us.
Can't tell.
Here's our intel on enemy locations.
Or did I even explain? Because I don't remember if I did or didn't. The starting sentence on mobile was with Cap. Yep.
We
Yep.
gonna listen in or what?
Nomad, deploy your drone.
I'm on it.
Unless it's somebody like me that deactivates that.
I was rescued. Look, it doesn't matter. Someone is
I deactivate the capitalization for sentences on my phone.
Are you sure about this? An island in the middle of nowhere? After all this, are you sure you want to live on an island owned by your boss?
Claro que sí, cariño. J-Scale and Scale-Tech have thought of everything. It's going to be perfect.
Yep.
You'll see. I have to go. I'll call you as soon as I can. Te amo, mi amor.
Since when does Jace Skell own Aroa?
Don't you ever read the news?
Hold up. He's making another call.
Yes, this is the mission that refers to Breakpoint.
It's me. I'm at the safe house.
We need to meet now.
I know a place.
That's why
I'll send you
Johnny is in it.
Get there fast. And make sure no one
Your
follows you.
favorite actor. Or you love this actor? What did you say? I think you said you loved the actor. Whatever, him.
Talking
That's
to
why he's in
Bowman.
it.
What does the CIA want with Skeltech in Bolivia?
I'm not sure. But it's worth checking out.
This shit sounds above our pay grade, Nomad.
I know.
Well, the first mission, that is. Out of the two. Wait. Okay, what's the second? Oh, Kulta's prisoner. I mean the third. Using only CQC, Kulta's prisoner. Kulta's prisoner. And it was Itaqua Bravo. What out of two? I don't know why it just sink into me, that kind of knowledge. It's really rare, that kind of stuff sticks to me. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. I mean, I do remember that I said that, but I think I said it a couple of times. Or a few times on
There are a
stream.
lot of lights and switches up here.
So, I don't know
I'm on.
why it stuck with you. But hey, at least you can tell as well then, if it stuck with you. Since you remember. Okay, let's fuck this up, shall we?
Looks like Kulta's still smoldering. Keep an eye out for the rebel they've got held here. Damn, haven't seen anything like this since I was in the
Get down, get
sandbox.
down.
Sandbags, barbed wire.
What the fuck did
observation
he not
posts.
start
The
seeing
rebels
this?
must be giving Santa Blanca hell.
Bet these cartel assholes never thought they'd be spending their time dodging snipers and IEDs. Karma sure can be a bitch sometimes.
Get down,
Back it up, they're gonna see you.
get down. Okay. Now we should be able to just...
Drone is airborne. That brings us to 10.
Remember, I
All right,
called you
that's,
since they belong.
Count 15 of them.
Now I know why. What the heck? Okay then. Wow. I guess that's it. What the heck is there? Oh. Sheep. Or what are these? Whatever they are called. Yeah. It's coming around, I knew it. You say shit that stay around 3 in my mind. What kind of shit? Like actually important but random knowledge. Okay then. The other one is gonna turn around and come to this guy. You know what, fuck it. We're still doing it. No, 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 no.
Hang back, I see you.
Shit, 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 shit. We're being seen from everywhere. Holy crap. That was close call. That was a close call. Random. I'm learning. Stop being detected. I didn't get detected. See, I'm still good. Now what you talking about? Nothing happened. Nothing happened here. Okay, that guy should be coming up here. We still have the other 3 guys that we have to take somehow. Fuck if I know how. And the guy inside. That's the minimum that we gotta take. Maybe that guy that's leaving right now, I don't even have to take. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. That's down. That's going down as well. Okay, hopefully they won't see his body. Hopefully.
All right, breathe easy.
Hopefully he won't see either. That far? Good, he didn't. We could go all the way around, but by the time we get here, he's gonna most probably start moving. They will see and they will find you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And they didn't see shit. They did not see shit. The fucker doesn't want to move. He's gonna move as soon as I move away from you. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Son of a bitch. At least the other body disappeared. Alright, we should be good. Tunnel vision, this is bullshit. What the heck? What tunnel vision? There's no tunnel vision. Alright.
Hey, throwing a flashbang.
You, sir.
Oigan, gringos, help me get out of here.
There we go.
Okay, we're still good.
You okay, hermano?
What do you want from me?
Yuri and Polito. The fuckers who tortured
Was you paying the Sicario for this advantage?
But we need to know where they took you.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I remember
Why
that
would I
much.
pay them?
It was quiet, out in the country somewhere.
If I'm gonna kill them anyway.
There was a smell, like old animal skins. That's all I know. I'm sorry.
It's all right. At least now we know they're close by. Gracias.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Before he runs over somebody. As he usually does. There we go. Last challenge, last solo challenge done. Can we go up without being detected? Oh, bullshit. I'm not that lucky ever. It's okay. I can't remember. Bulan means luck. I just master my luck. All the people in this game trying to
Clear on
kill.
this side.
Well, kill them first. Then there will be nobody to try to kill you. You know, like the heavy stealth. You know what heavy stealth is, right? It's whenever you kill everybody. And there's nobody to tell the tale. Did I miss it? Kinda. No witnesses. Exactly. Never used it. Alright, so that's the solo. Was a task force. Inside faction warfare involving Unidad. 2 out of 3 is done. I guess somebody else was playing. I don't think. Wait, did I? I guess maybe in the second solo mission. I don't know. I want them to motherfucking know it's me that killed them. No regrets. All happen in Battle of War. Right. Oh, it's still heavy stuff. Whether they know or not
I'll drive.
that you killed them, not
I'll
that
catch
is.
up with you.
As long as nobody stays alive. As DC said, no witnesses. True, I'm allowed, motherfucker. Alright, so we need to do only one more. To kill him, we
Civilians
don't
in the
need
area.
him.
Watch your targets.
And we're gonna kill him so that the others see and start
See
fighting
second
each other.
target. I got a third. I've got eyes on the captain.
There. Oh, maybe we should be closer. No, we're good. Dude. The fuck?
Shit, they spotted us.
Come out. There. Done.
Good shooting. Let's clean up and move on.
Oh, yeah, oh. What's up?
Clear out. I'll meet you there.
dead everywhere. Sorry, I can't stay longer without lazy. Wait, what? Sorry, chat, I'm being kind of awesome every time you show up. For your patience, you're an awesome stream. Don't forget to get. Oh, wow, fuck you too, Shadow. Fuck you too. Alright, you have a good one there, dude. You mean survive? Right. Thanks for coming in, dude. You have a good one there. You'll probably see if Lotus wants to join her. I didn't message her about today. I don't know if she's busy. Oh, because she was busy. Some friend. Okay. Actually, no. Let's go to this safe house. Once we get to the safe house, I'm gonna message her. She might still be out though. Let's get here so you guys have a nice view while I talk to her. There we go. Alright, I am still here, guys. I just see if Lotus is available and wants to join up. Area of the keyboard UI? Why, you don't like it? Doesn't look good? There.
Cómo me gustaba estar arreglando los cacharros.
Let me see first if she's on anywhere. There. Not there. Okay, well, I sent her a message. Let's see if she responds. Guess meanwhile, I can get the...
No tengo ni un boliviano, pues.
What's it called? JW survival up. I hope it still works like this. Oh, there. Alright, let's see, where shall we start? Or should we do some survival but in ghost mode? Fuck it, let's do that. Let's do some survival but in ghost mode. Just wanted to come back here before. Oh, shit, I still have to. Ah, dang it. Okay, guys, give me a few minutes. I'm still gonna be here. I just need to do a couple of things. In the next 35 minutes, 34 minutes. Meanwhile, I guess we can start the ghost mode. And we're gonna use the level 5. Yeah, let's use the level 5. Ouch.
Hostiles in the area. Stay frosty.
The fuck? Oh, that.
We're good.
Oh, like that. Okay. Tough. Actual fuck. Weird. But anyway. Okay. One's done and now this. We still have to choose where to start. We have a bunch of skills. Ooh, grenade launcher. Well, we're not gonna use it now, but I'm gonna use it with Lotus. Drone night vision, thank you. Mine, C4. Thermal, we don't have enough. No pain, would be nice. And the revive speed. Range or battery, let's do range. There. Okay. We upgraded some.
Enemy activity nearby.
Oh. That is the enemy activity.
Should be okay now.
There we go. I still have to do one more thing. I just also have to remember that we're in ghost mode. Have to be careful not to die. Fucking come on.
Shit, we got company. We've got enemy activity nearby.
Alright, here I am. Sorry about that, guys. I totally forgot to do with this today before stream. So I had to do this real quick. Alright. Where do we start? Where are we going? Wait, I have to see. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Okay, so it doesn't work like this. Damn it. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, Guani Barbechos, Libertad Via Verde Media Luna. Alca. Imanes Via Verde Media Luna Flor de Oro. West. Oh, here. What if we go for that? There should be a bunch of guys there. And we're gonna start from, should we start from the opposite side? Yeah, let's just start from the opposite side from Guani. Guani Bravo. I have to stream some other shit as well. Okay, let's wait for
Bowman, this is Nomad. We're in Kawani province.
Bowman.
What have you got for us?
Kawani's a major hub for the cartel's smuggling operations. We're talking about a sophisticated network of planes, trains, and cargo trucks carrying upwards of 30 tons of powder across the border. The network is the brainchild of an American national by the name of
You have to
Austin
stay in,
Reed.
otherwise she won't.
Reed's a bush pilot who's been flying
It's
for
just
Nidia
gonna pause.
Flores at El Boquita for years, and eventually worked his way into management.
How do we get Reed?
That's the tricky part. Reed's cagey as fuck. He stays in hiding most of the time, preferring to work through middlemen. Psych profile says he's clinically paranoid, but I think there's more to it than that.
Like what?
Money transfers that don't add up, message traffic to unknowns across the border, flights that don't correspond to cartel shipping routines. Reed's moving more than powder, and he doesn't want Sueño to know about it. We've been getting reports of cartel activity around the train cemetery for some time now. See what you can find out.
There we go.
Nomad, I just uploaded
Come
Boston
on.
Reed's CIA profile video. Should help you track him down here in Kawani.
Alright. So we can change to whatever, something else. We did get this for shorty. So let's do that. Don't have any drone besides the regular one. This is gonna be interesting. Because we are pretty pretty under whatever. We don't have loadouts. We don't have good loadout. What was it called now? Guns out, guns out. That's the one. No vest. Pants. Survivor pants. Combat boot. Well, the boots doesn't matter. No ghillie. Mag. Baseball bat. Yep, bat, baseball cap. Fuck earpiece. And we still go with the same. Actually, no. Bandages. Fuck yeah. And backpack. This one. No patches. Something like this. I don't remember exactly how we set up. Something similar. There's the black cap though. Whatever.
I'll fly.
Okay.
That's right.
Turn off everything basically. Get into the air. Oh shit, wait a second. Wait a second. Do we even have the skills? Parachute? We don't even have the parachute, damn it.
Fucking
We're gonna
hell.
get the parachute first. I mean, that is comms. So we could get that.
Say it was part of Santa Blanca's coke smuggling operation.
Bowman's got files for us on all the major players.
Woman in charge is Nydia Flores, an ex-beauty queen turned drug trafficker.
Sniper, let's get 50 cal. I don't even.
Her right-hand man is a dude named El Boquita. Ugly motherfucker. Seems to handle on-the-ground logistics. She's the brains, he's the brawn.
Heads up. We've got an Unidad convoy on the move. I've got eyes on multiple
Will you
vehicles,
fucking stop?
including a commo truck.
Let's get after it. The rebels are hurting for decent comms.
Shit.
We could loot the truck and share the
That's
love
right.
with Atari's people.
Are you fucking bombarding me with...
Let's go.
Good to go.
That barely dented the car, the truck. Holy fuck. Okay, this is not gonna work. We're too new for this. We cannot stop this convoy. You can fuck off with your videos.
Ready? Fire, fire, fire.
Copy. Engage him.
You're gonna blow up so quick. goes the white smoke. There's that. And we're gonna die. Oh, we won't. Oh, yeah, we will.
Took you so
No, we didn't. Damn it. Can't see shit. Yeah, we cannot do. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to go back to Itaqua and grab that. Go. From
good.
here.
All in one piece?
Yeah, barely. Oh, and we also need... Oh, dang it. We also need a skill point. Okay, let's switch this back to... $18. Oh, that's right, and we did get the grenade launcher, so... What am I doing? Wait, what? There we go. Okay. And let's go grab those comms.
Hang on, I'll drive.
Let's roll.
Yeah, it seems like Lotus is still out. You don't even see my message. Oh. To be honest, I was wondering if I should stream today anyway.
Hey, we got a narco over by the soccer field.
Got another tango. Deploying drone. And baby makes 3. Here's target number 5. Marking a captain.
I'm gonna get... Okay, we're gonna get
Cartel
to level
combination
6, so... Should be fine. Regarding the skill point. Do come in here, that's good. No, he's not coming here, that's not good. Oh, no. Seriously? Fuck.
We're cool, we're cool.
Nice chill. There we go.
Assholes know we're here. Stay quiet.
We good? Shit got close for a second there.
We are good. I'm actually not gonna pick up. Actually, I did. No, I'm not gonna pick up minor intel. I picked up the bonus medal, but I'm gonna pick up the minor intel. I should have not picked up the bonus medal either. Wait, we didn't get to 6 yet, did we? We did. Okay. Then we don't have to stop by to pick up a skill point. We should have a skill point. We have to. I don't know why I didn't check. I went in there. We didn't have to stop anyway because there's one here.
Swiping a helicopter to bring a day into focus.
Wait, there is supposed to be. We already. Oh, I guess we already picked it up. Anyway, that means parachute. There we go. And no thermal. You know what? Let's still go grab one skill point. Right.
Sure are a lot
that
of lights
way,
and switches
east.
up here.
Punch it, man.
And the cross looking down at the Unidad base Armadillo. That way we can get the thermals. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Alright, there we go. And thermals. Done. Okay. So now back to Connie Bravo. Switch the weapon again. I should probably switch to the Deimos. Thing is, we won't be able to switch weapons until we get to an ammo crate. But since the Deimos crossbow is so findable, go straight for that. And then we can use it straight away. But nah, you know what? No. We're gonna stick to Super Shorty.
I'll pilot.
Alright, once again, off we go. But this time we have a parachute. I should have changed my parachute. I forgot. You know what? No, I'm gonna move inland. Land somewhere inland. wherever. Because landing in the desert is just too easy. I mean, it's gonna be easy landing anywhere, but in the desert it's super easy. And like, I know where to go from there. Now all I have to do is just go straight to wherever I want to go. Landing somewhere inside, inland, not in the desert. We have to think some more where to go, how to go, and stuff. Trying not to look too much at the screen. Okay, I'm gonna jump here. Go straight down. And we go around some. I hope I'm not too close to the ground. If I am, I'm fucked. It's been a long time. Alright. There we go. Let's see. Okay, on the mountain. That's the network station. That's Santa Blanca base. This is a safe house. Okay. Too easy. The extraction is not gonna be so easy. That's why I chose it actually. What am I doing? Okay, so let's check this. Loot. Shotgun model 1887. For now, I'm just gonna loot everything. NVGs, nice.
Only dead chopper, stay low.
I am low. Nothing.
Got some hostile activity.
No. Hopefully they won't see. Nothing. Is there anything else? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think that's it. Okay, so we got a shotgun. Oh, that's right. We have only one thing. Model 1887. This is what we got. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, and since we're here, before I forget, okay, we don't have any drones, and we still don't have any handgun. Oh. Wait, give me a second. I have to see this. So this is bugged. That's just awesome. The shotgun is bugged. We have 6 bullets. And we can reload it. But as soon as it gets to 8, it goes back to 6. Wow. Okay, anyway. we can pick up ammo infinitely. Ubisoft. Okay, we have NVGs. Okay. Let's see, what should we do? We have some guys there. I think. I don't see any unit coming by at the moment. The what's it called? The supply truck is.
Is it any wonder that people here hate and fear the army? Jesus Christ.
Avancen en silencio.
Estoy seguro que están aquí.
I have a bad feeling about this.
¿Alguien se metió en la zona?
No hay enemigos a la vista.
You're gonna get made. Hang back.
LT, okay. Wait, but I'm gonna take this instead.
We're good to go.
I can loot him, and of course he has nothing. And the other one I killed here. Oops, that's not it.
Hey, keep your guns down. These people see too many as it is.
Yeah, whatever. Loot this as well. Ooh. Cars. Nice. The M9 handgun. I have to not forget to... And this is empty. I have to not forget to... what do you call it? Oh, dang it, come on. Two
Go
minutes.
ahead, I'll meet you.
I have to not forget to equip it. Sheesh, I can talk. Okay, start 2 minutes. I'm gonna go back actually to the safe house that we came from to restock and to equip the M9.
Man, that took some serious engineering work. Pretty sophisticated stuff for a remote area like this.
The government invested heavily in potato farming as a way to supplant coca. It was a good plan, but the cartel put a stop to that.
You
And
can
this
still
one
offer future generations
has
a way out. We just have to get rid of
4
Santa
cars,
Blanca first.
so full
Bowman,
tank.
the boots down in Romanzo. What have you got for us?
Romanzo is a primary smuggling node for the cartel. They're using cutting-edge techniques to move product over the border, and security is tight. You'll have to gather intel on the network as you go and find ways to disrupt it.
What do we know about the asshole in charge?
The Buchon's name is El Gato. Fair warning, he's got a reputation for being unkillable.
He obviously hasn't met us yet. Got any background on him?
I'll put together what we've got and send it
Wait,
to
what
you
the fuck?
shortly.
Copy that.
This one
Got any
doesn't
leads
have-
for us?
Just one. An
This
unconfirmed
one has
report that El
only
Gato set
auto.
up one of his chemists with a special lab inside a Santa Blanca church.
A church.
I'm sending you the location now.
Oh, shit.
You'll understand once you get there.
The M9. Oh shit, we don't have the M9. So we have to pick it up. Something has to be picked up. Damn it. Okay, we don't have
Bowman
a
sent us some
handgun.
background on El Gato.
The dude that thinks he can't be killed? This ought to be good.
I'll drive.
Move
Okay.
out. I'm on your
Where are we
six.
going? Flodoro. Start and go. We're just gonna follow this. Shit, wait. Those are all... What do you call it? 3, 4. Nice. 4 motorbikes. Another full tank.
Unidad bird on patrol. Watch out.
1 empty. Second
Something
empty.
down. Approaching.
Third the Scorpion
Come on, we're good to go.
compact machine gun. We're gonna keep that for now. Sniper rifle Extranjeros BFG. Ooh. I'm gonna have to see about that. We might get that. Okay, I don't want to go back
Go on
again
without me.
to the same safe house. We're just gonna keep going. Now we're gonna stop by the next safe house, whichever that one is. I think is the not safe house. The next one.
There you go. All the pottery you would want.
Anybody up for a souvenir? What are you gonna do when someone asks you where you got it? I'll tell them I got it on a secret mission to Bolivia, and then I'll kill them. You know, the usual.
If I remember. Oh shit. Go. Is this... This is it. This is it. The not safe house. Alright, cool. So I have one bike, submachine gun, P90 Glory. Oh, wait. You know what? Let me see about the BFG. Extranjeros. It's the Extranjeros version. Sniper rifle. The BFG 50A Extranjeros. Wait. Oh, you should have that. BFG 58 is there. Oh, there. Extranjeros BFG. Ah, it's not silenced. Okay, nope. Okay, P90 Glory. That one I think we should have. Yeah, this is a submachine gun. P90 Glory, there we go. And that is... We're getting that. Alright. And compact machine gun Scorpion. Scorpion Skull. I think this has to be picked up as well. Maybe. Scorpion, yep. Okay, so no Extranjeros. No Scorpion. Keep the P90 Glory. Shit. Now we cannot. Fucking hate this. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna have to use however many ammo we have right now, however much ammo. Scorpion Skull, there we go. Now that one we do have, because that's a special weapon. Are you fucking... Drive? I don't want to drive. At least not yet. Scorpion Skull. Okay, so that's that. Let's see about this real quick. Empty. I had a feeling it would be. And this one, I think we're gonna take this. P90 Glory again. Alright. But yeah, we cannot grab ammo. Ah shit! I
Go ahead, I'll catch up.
forgot to stop the fuel timer. Either way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And whatever was left in that is a full tank, definitely. So, started the full tank.
Man down.
That's because he was standing right in front of the car. Keep going down here. We should have gone to that city to check for loot. Oh shit. Okay, we're good. That is... Get back in. What the fuck are you doing out here? That was Unidad, I think. Go 4 minutes. I don't remember. That is... We'll call it... Okay, San Mateo. Up. +1. Loot. Empty. That was useless. Well, I guess we got 1 more minute of gas, so not quite useless. We're at
Go on, I'll be right with you.
427. That's Unidad again.
Bowman, this is Nomad. What have you got on San Mateo?
San Mateo. Over the past few years, a lot of people have been disappearing from that province. Politicians,
Unidad
rebel
as well.
sympathizers,
Anyone who's making life hard for the cartel.
That's
anybody who ain't
Unidad as
cartel,
well.
period. We're
But
talking hundreds of individuals.
we
Gone
won't be
without a
able to
trace.
stop here.
Santa Blanca is definitely behind the disappearances, but no bodies have ever been found. Find out what happened to these people. Their families need a place to start looking. Then make sure that
+2.
shit stops happening.
Understood. Look there. An SB network station. Let's blow the door and
Full
deactivate
tank.
it.
And we can restock here as well. Okay, this one is empty. Kinda want to change to this car. It's empty. But I'm not gonna. Okay, where was
Get
the...
down before they see you.
That was a skill point that we are not going to pick up. What I do want to pick up though is this ammo. Oh, I guess we don't have to pick up ammo. Alrighty then. So we're done here. We'll keep going.
Go ahead without me.
5 minutes.
Set. Let's go.
It's not gonna work like this. Another Unidad. Fuck. Actually, I think this one brings us up into Barvetros. Bienvenido a Barvetros, yeah. Oh well. Oh wait, actually, oh well, not oh well, because that's going south.
Bowman, we just crossed into Barvetros.
Good news. Sueño sent an accountant named Polpo to Barvechos to check out Nydia Flores' books. Word is Polpo is a hawk. He doesn't let anyone cut any corners.
So whether she's skimming from Sueño or not, Nydia is not happy to have Pulpo looking into her.
The cartel smuggles its profits into Barvechos from Brazil, and then most of that gets laundered through Banco de Barvechos.
With Pulpo already about to gum up the works, there has to be some way we can use that to sabotage the entire process.
Maybe Sueño already believes Nydia Flores has sticky fingers. To know for sure, we need to get hands on Polpo. Our intel places his junior partner and right-hand man, a guy named Wagner, at a silver mine in Barvechos. Grab Wagner and make him cough up Polpo's location.
Our friendly neighborhood CIA officer just sent us a video. Who's got the popcorn?
Light machine gun. MK249 America. Nope. Oh, that's right. That's +1. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna find another one here. Let's just do full tank. There we go. Empty. Here's another one. Empty. Oh shit.
As long as the army gets away with shit like this, we're never gonna turn this country around.
Clear over here.
All right. That's 2 more. Car keys again.
Hola, come
and
on.
nothing. I guess there. Oh, there was something up there. There it is. Oh, and these 3. Okay. So 1, the 5-7 blacklist. Ah, yes. Instead of the Scorpion's Call, gonna be awesome. The other one is empty, and the third one is empty. Of course. We're gonna have our usual gun. And this one is empty as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. And from what I remember, there is an ammo crate here in this village somewhere. I just don't remember where.
There's got to be some intel we can dig up
Or
around here.
maybe there isn't. Maybe there isn't. I don't know anymore. This place I don't usually come to. The only time I come to here is whenever I have to pick up something from here. Which we're not gonna pick up now. I think it's a skill point. Or a document. It actually might be a document. Okay, I was wondering if we still have our car here. Well, we do. Alright.
Let's go.
Going, I'll meet you.
5 minutes. I actually didn't know that this was leading down to this village. Okay, we have this network station here where the dish is. Oh, we could go there as well to check for... that's here. For the vehicles here, what they
Guys
have.
on the Santa Blanca network station. Let's blow our way
2,
in there and
3
shut it down.
vehicles. Oh shit. And that's another full tank. That was just... oh shit. There we go. Game froze there for a second. Or a few seconds actually. Loot. Explosive drone. Well, I'm gonna use it as the drone only. Okay. Change this to the 5-7 blacklist. And, well, the drone. Yeah. Okay, and these two. Submachine gun SR635 Jaw, which we don't need, and the MK249 again, but not the America version, just the regular version.
They're gonna see you.
Okay, we are all set here. I'm actually tempted to go down, since we have a drone now, to go down here, check for that. Actually, we can't go with this because it's gonna be
We got a few Sicarios here. Look, we got a fucking man
one
down.
more minute anyway. There we go, our first Deimos crossbow. I'm pretty sure not the last one.
Go ahead, I'll meet you.
Start timer. I
Man
didn't
down.
even,
Just
I
hold
didn't
on to
even
your
start a
shit. Man
timer
down.
for the other one. Guys, stop fucking getting in front of the car. You see that I got in. The actual heck. Oh, there was one car. Where's yours? Stop, full tank. A car and a bike. The bike is empty, the car is empty. Next.
Go on without me.
I should just actually drive. I drive to a spot and do all of this on foot. It's empty.
Go ahead, I'll catch up.
I'm not even starting the fuel timer for this because we keep running into cars anyway. Oh shit, this one, okay. That's two.
All good, all clear.
So that's one. Plane key at the airport. How convenient. Wow. Okay. Don't mind if I do.
Barvechos Airport up ahead. Stay sharp. It's under SB control.
How does a drug cartel just take over a fucking airport?
I guess when they
Empty?
threaten to shoot any departing flight out of the
Oh,
air,
yeah, the
you
guy
figure
was
it's
empty.
safer to take the train.
Empty. That's a civilian, okay. Car keys. MK48 Wasteland LMG. El Baston LMG. I already checked that. Empty. Oh, I checked it now. It's empty. Submachine gun PP19. We are going to take a plane. Especially since there are two planes here. It's like 4 minutes. Wait, am I fucking dumb? Am I doing it exactly the opposite way? Info. Vehicles. All ground and water vehicles. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Air vehicles have 2 IRL mats. Oh wait. Loot. Oh, we got keys for boats. Loot. SR-25 Liberator. Tempted, but no. I'm gonna stay with this, whatever we have. I think I'm gonna take this, which has a noisemaker drone. So, a drone. Another
look around here
drone,
for
I
some
should
info.
say. This one, assault rifle ACR. Well, that is a pickup, so we don't have it. And then there's this, which has absolutely nothing. So we have 4 minutes. Oh wait, not yet. Oh, actually, yeah.
I got it.
Reset.
I'll
1, 2,
fly.
3, 4. 4 minutes. Start. Oops. Come on, turn. Holy crap, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. We're on track now. We're on track. We do have already plane keys. That's why we are flying the plane. And all we gotta do now is get to Lord Oro. And we got about 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes to get there. Which we won't in 3 minutes. But I could actually land here, which I'm gonna do, and add 2 extra minutes from the helo. That's here. Mendes Farm. There's the helo. We have a couple of trucks. Actually, total of 4 trucks are having beef tonight, it seems like. Alright. That is 2 more minutes, so 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 1 second. Loot. Empty. Oh, that's right, we have this too. It is usable, right? Looks like it, and it is. Loot. Santa Blanca Scorpion
Going on,
compact
mate.
machine gun. No, thank you. Deimos crossbow. MK48 Wasteland again. Explosive drone again. Okay, so all of these didn't need.
There's got to be some intel we can dig up around
Oh, we
here.
already have. And then there are these 2
Heads up,
more
hostile
cars,
presence.
trucks. That one and this one. Car keys for the 3rd or 4th time. What the heck?
I'm seeing 2 narcos here,
Point him out.
near the ruins.
Medic drone. We don't have the medic drone anyway. Weird. Why did it not work before? Okay, I think we checked this, didn't we? Yeah, I think that was the first one that we checked. I'm not gonna recheck it anyway. I'm not gonna check it anyway, I mean. Right, start, take off. More beef. Okay, so that's 4 more minutes. Well, 3 minutes and 45 seconds as of now. Itaqua. Okoro across the river on the left. Gonna fly over a little bit. Then we have what's this called? I keep forgetting. La Cruz. Shit, La Cruz, that's right. With that Unidad base with the SAM site. So let's not go there. Almost less than 3 minutes.
Nomad, put a pin in whatever you're working on. I've got a mission coming through that takes top priority.
There comes Sam
I'm
Fisher.
tasking you with support for Operation Watchman.
Support?
I know
Watchman.
this guy. Don't give him any shit, or he's liable to feed you your own liver.
Good
Passing him through
minutes.
now.
And there's Florida already.
Nomad, this is Matchwood. How do you read?
Matchwood? I read you 5 by 5.
I'm in country without my usual team. A girl says you're pipe hitters who know the neighborhood.
You tell us what you need, we'll make it happen.
I'm gonna want somebody
2
to
minutes.
watch my back. I'll drop you a line when I'm in position.
Roger that.
Look, this is not the time to be playing cowboy. Tread lightly. Don't drop any bodies unless I give you the word. You copy?
Understood. This is a stealth op.
Matchwood out.
Looks like we're riding shotgun with Sam Fisher.
One and a half
Buddy of mine.
minute.
He went to Paladin 9 Security. Worked with Fisher on a K&R in South America. Said he was a real hard ass. And reliable as hell. But not a guy you invited for dinner with the family. Guess he's had it rougher than most. Lost both his parents when he was a kid. And apparently, somebody faked his daughter's death. He's been shot, stabbed, tortured. That bastard's still ticking. Like Rasputin or something. And that takes something powerful. To keep at it after all that shit happens to you. And Fisher has spent decades walking side by side with death. That's tough. Sometimes. I think about the bad things we do for the good of our country. We travel overseas, take some lives, ruin others. And I'd do it all again. In a heartbeat. But I still don't know if I'd go as far as Sam Fisher does. Bowman, we're in Florida Oro.
The trees there may be pretty, but that province is the heart of Unidad corruption. We want to break up the love affair between
Here we
Unidad
are.
and the cartel. That means taking down
This is
General
gonna be
Bao.
interesting.
The commander of Unidad. How hard is he to get to?
So many Unidad that we have to
Got
take
word
care
of
of.
a data center at Unidad's Mob Jaguar. Our source tells us it's chock full of informed personnel.
Let's see,
It may even tell
1,
tales about some of Unidad's less than savory
2,
operations.
and the
Sounds
upper
like a good place
part.
to find leads on General Barrow.
These
I'm sending you the
2
location of
we
Mob
could
Jaguar
take
now.
out
Probably
already.
got the data center underground to keep it cool. And our source couldn't get us any password access, so you'll have to hack in.
That's one. The other one moved from here. There he is. We cannot take him because of the others. For now. But we will in a bit. And that's a heavy. go. Oops.
The drone is up.
I did not mean to do that. I meant to do that with this. Like that. Okay. Oh, there he is. I don't know how far he is. But I guess that far.
That was fucking close.
Should be one up there as well. We should take, probably. Also, meanwhile, Lotus replied, she is out. Let's go grab the guy from up. Oh, maybe not yet. Okay. Going back. Actually, before getting there, let's see if he's still up there. Yeah, he is. Shit. Unit at patrol. Gonna wait. There, he's down. Are you alone there? Looks like it.
Relax, we're still good. Shit, he knows he's taking fire. That was close. We're out of the cave.
Ah, shit.
The parking area, watch out.
Enviamos refuerzos a su posición. Acaben con el enemigo.
So, how much did I fuck that up? I think I heard reinforcements getting out of their cars. Come on, not now. Okay, let's see. Let's see about those reinforcements. Yep. One, two, three. Where's the fourth? Oh, it's just three? I guess it's just them three. Where did they stop? What did they come with? That? I don't remember if it was there already or not. Hey there, Lotus.
Perdimos contacto con el enemigo.
Welcome in.
Salgan del servicio.
How are you doing, Lotus? Almost looked at my map. I'm not even sure why I almost looked at my map, but I almost did. Where? There. Is that the 3? That's a 4-seater. So why were there only 3 of them? Is everybody in? Did everybody leave? Or am I gonna die?
Okay, all clear.
Enemy
There's
spotted.
another patrol. Could be better, staying positive. We can always be better. We are just doing a GRW survival right now, but in ghost mode.
Sure are a lot of lights and switches up here.
Okay, we're in, this is facing north if I remember correctly. So I have to go that way. Yeah, there's a Libertad. I have to pass Libertad. This is already the extraction. That has only a jammer. No SAM site as far as I remember. So we should be fine. After this, I'm gonna actually call it. Today's gonna be a short stream. Was that do 3 hours? And we did take a supply plane, but it doesn't matter. There would be the other plane that we should have taken the other plane, but it doesn't matter because we are not giving this to the rebels. We are flying out with it. They're gonna need a nap? Yeah, I guess so. I am a little bit tired. There we go. You need a nap too? And there we go. We extracted successfully. Get rid of all these videos.
We're boots down in Libertad province. What can you tell us?
Oh, that's right. Now we're gonna get the Libertad talk as well.
Precursors it uses to refine coca paste into cocaine. It's a tricky process that requires special.
Anyway, Mark 18. Back to our regular outfit.
Very nasty chemicals into intel on the ground is pretty thin. The local Buchon keeps a very low profile. We think he might be one of the cartel's top chemists, so I'd really love to find out what he knows. Get out there, rattle some cages, and see what you can find out.
Copy that. We're on it. Buckle up, people.
Go on, I'll be right with you.
All right. But we're gonna go back to where we started. We definitely didn't go straight. Okay, here we were with the car, so that's fine. All the new. Driving me nuts. Okay. So here we were with the car. All the way to Barvechos. We were even going west. Not even south. And then we went with a plane from Barvechos. We landed at Mendes Farm to refuel. Then we went down here. I don't know what the heck did I do down here. It turned so much. And we came to Lord Oro. And then we flew out. It was a fast one. Anyway, I do not see any helo. I don't want to call a helo. I want to grab a helo that's already... There should be a helo... at the network station. But question is, where is the network station? Dang it. Whatever. It is somewhere over here, actually. Oh, there it is. In to say hello, but I'm going to get settled in now. Settled in? Did you get home?
Cartel network.
Is what you're saying?
Hit the door and knock out the control terminal.
Get back before they make you.
Familiarize yourselves with Bowman's briefing on Santa Blanca's coke production pipeline.
Okay, and we have to fly. Where is it? Here to Itaqua Alpha.
El Yayo and La Gringa. Yayo's Bolivian, an
Oh, okay. Wait, I thought you said half an hour. That is so not half an hour. Wow.
Before joining up with the cartel.
Just pulled in. Okay. Well, then you can go in and go to bed and take a nap. We're just gonna go back to this safe house where we left off last week. And we're gonna call it as well. It's off a bit today, especially with pop-up errands. Oh. That sucks.
Looks like they're feeling grumpy.
No nap just yet. No. So you should have been on. Meant to be. I really did. I just had unexpected needs today. It's all good.
Rattle the cage.
Do some. Huh? Oh, some VR. I was wondering what the heck B is. Some VR and Unity. Okay. We were supposed to be doing Unity. How far did you get in Unity? Did you pick up everything? Did you do any extra? Yes, you did. You did something extra. Or yes, you did. You did collect everything. Or yes, you did what? We've done all sequences except, well, you could have told me. Fine, I'll do sequences as well then. Wait, it is that time of the day in game. Well, almost that time. Nah, pretty much. Oh, it's past that time. Okay. Wait, let's see. I don't think we can go high enough. 100%. All right, I'm gonna do sequences as well then. There we go. And then all we're gonna have to do is there in the middle. All we're gonna have to do is the co-op and the heists that we didn't do yet. And I guess the ones that we did as well, but like redo them. Well, at least for me. Ah, shit, I forgot to take a picture at the beginning of the stream. Fine, I took one of this. I still have to do together all the screenshots of like landscape screenshots that I took in Wildlands and release it for you guys. All right, but is there. All right. Oh, check this out. 3 minutes, almost on the dot. Three hours. Okay, so yeah, today is gonna be a short stream. It was a short stream. I am calling it. So, thank you very much, everybody, for being here. GG's, DC, and Shadow, even though Shadow is not here anymore, for the finding the hidden command. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next one, whenever that's gonna be. Join up on Discord. And yeah, other than that, I wish you all a great day, night, evening, morning, or whatever else applies to you. And you guys have a good one there. Bye bye.